Families across Maine and the country are considering perhaps reevaluating their Thanksgiving plans as coronavirus spreads uncontrollably in most states. The simple and best advice is to stay home. It is the 16th of November, 2020. I want to show you some mind control, some social engineering here while I drink my cup of coffee. It's a little bit before 9 o'clock in the AM. Let's just look at this newspaper article for a minute now. We knew they were going to try to detour us from having Thanksgiving this year. Let's check out how they want you to feel at the end of this, because there's an amazing amount of sadness involved in this. It's absolutely ludicrous. And I'll share just the meat and potatoes of this story, if you will, because I think it's very important in understanding the ongoing New World Order script. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends that people celebrate, check this out, only with people from within their own households. Okay? It's just a recommendation. But this is where things are going. Again, think of the future, the change that brings about the rest of history. Right? We're living in the change. We're not just living within history itself. If people do choose to invite others into their homes, the CDC again recommends check this out, they invite only people who live within their own community. Now, my wife and I, we basically live in the woods. When we step outside and look at our surrounding community, there aren't many people. So consider that for a moment. If you do invite people, we're talking into your house. I can't believe this. The word household is in this paragraph, right? Stay masked in your house and socially distant. Good luck enjoying Thanksgiving this year, ladies and gentlemen. Unlike earlier in the pandemic, when many cases were traced to large gatherings, state health officials attribute the current rapid rise in cases to the proliferation of small gatherings. So you can't win one way or the other, regardless. Remember over the summer? When they told you it was a good idea to stay home, work from home. My wife was home for 4 months, right? That's how we'll stop the spread of the virus, right? But then when people went out, remember the 4th of July? Ooh, don't go out this weekend because it's going to rise. We're going to have spikes all across the United States. So stay home, stay inside. That's what they told us all summer, right? But now that winter is coming, they're worried that if you stay home and stay inside, the second wave will be worse than the first wave. Make up my mind for me, please. You know, it's frustrating. That's why they are particularly concerned about Thanksgiving, of course. When families often travel and gather for meals with family and friends, they're concerned about family and friends, but not because they want you to be healthy, okay? They still have a plan. This is still ongoing. This is the social engineering that is supposed to frighten you into submission. We and public health officials know the importance of connections with family and friends, and that those connections are even more important during the stress and isolation of the ongoing pandemic. Key questions to guide your Thanksgiving decision-making should include: are there alternatives to an in-person gathering? Rather than invite people over, as she typically does, check this out, University of Maine professor Jacqueline Gill and her husband plan to cook a big Thanksgiving meal. That's fantastic. But check this out, which will be packaged for pickup by those who would typically be invited to dinner. They will then all join a Zoom session and eat together. Not as good as in person, but much safer. Right? So remember when they started curbside pickup? They closed all the restaurants. You can't go here, you can't go there. Sit in a parking lot and wait for somebody to bring it to you. Well, remember I made a video stating that too will bring about the change for the next generation, because the next generation is going to look at this moment in time and say, how did you people survive? Why did you go to restaurants? It's so dirty, it's so filthy. Why wouldn't you just go and pick up your meal on the sidewalk and go home and eat where it's clean? It'll be normal to them, right? The new normal. That's what this is about. This is still an ongoing science project. Do you see it? So when Grammy and Grampy come over for Thanksgiving this year, they won't be invited into the house. They can just pick their Thanksgiving meal up somewhere in your yard and then go home, and then you can say hi to them on your computer, which is where the future is heading. This is the slow conditioning process that we all have to endure because it's not going to stop. Even if you plan to travel or have family or friends traveling to Maine from most other states, a 14-day quarantine or a negative coronavirus test is required when entering or returning to the state. Governor Janet Mills on Friday ended the waiver of these requirements for travel to and from Massachusetts. Vermont and New Hampshire remain exempt from the testing and quarantine requirements, but obtaining a COVID test before or after travel remains a prudent move. Of course it does. They always want you to have the coronavirus on your mind when making decisions. That's what they're telling you to do. Make your decisions based on this virus, okay? With the virus spreading all across the state, Maine people must take steps to protect themselves and others, Mills said in a press release Friday. Wear a face covering. Stay apart from one another. Do not attend gatherings. Avoid unnecessary travel. Wash your hands. We know these are the best tools we have to prevent the spread of this deadly virus and to keep our economy moving, right? Now, check this out. This here made me want to make this video, okay? Check this out. This here is social engineering at its best right here. To reiterate, health experts suggest that we forego gatherings. Instead, spend the holiday only with those who live with you, right? Now, look at this. My family and I love to cook. It's what we do. But who is at our table is going to look a lot different this year than it has in previous years. Good old Dr. Shaw says. Right? Get this. It's probably just going to be me and my immediate family and our dog. And that's sad. Really? Why is that sad? Why do we have to think about being sad this Thanksgiving? If I get to spend Thanksgiving with just my immediate family and my 2 dogs and my 3 cats, I'm going to be incredibly thankful for that. I'm going to be incredibly happy. Even if we just have a TV dinner, I get to spend another day with my wife, with my family, with my dogs, with my cats. Praise God through Jesus Christ, right? You don't see that anywhere, but they want you to be sad. Actually, if I was part of this man's immediate family, Dr. Shaw, I'd look at that and say, what, am I not good enough? Now look, it is sad, and it is important to acknowledge that. Boom. So there you go. They want you to feel sad this Thanksgiving. There's no point in giving thanks because it's a sad time, and we're supposed to acknowledge how sad it is this Thanksgiving because the NWO plan doesn't constitute family this year, right? Just stay alone. Put a mask on, go down in your basement, shut the lights off, and just sit there this Thanksgiving. Right? If it was just me by myself eating a turkey sandwich that I bought 2 days ago and left in the refrigerator, I'd be thankful this Thanksgiving for that turkey sandwich. And I'm not going to wait until Thanksgiving on the 26th to thank God through Jesus for everything that I have, for all the blessings that He has bestowed upon me. And I'll continue to be thankful for it. I just wanted to show you this article in the paper today and just help you understand what social engineering is and what brings about the change that affects the rest of history. Because we're not living in a stagnant moment where we just read the news. We are the news. I hope everybody does have a good Thanksgiving this year. I think everybody deserves some happiness. And don't forget, no matter what you have, no matter who you spend it with, give thanks to God through Jesus Christ for everything that you have. Don't be sad. And may God bless you all.